Okay, there we go. Now the time's finally starting to work. I was about ready to log in, see if the video was actually starting or not. What's going on, guys? It is IceLikeCooper88, also known as Steve, and like the title says, just a little bit of a chill stream. I figured I kind of was in the mood to play Diablo 3 for a little bit, because I'm trying to grind out the rest of the trophies and everything so I can platinum this game. And I thought, you know, since I'm grinding to get like legendary gear for the Up All Night trophy, as well as knocking out the last Necromancer trophy for Skeleton Crew, you know, I thought I'd do a chill stream. Not really gonna say a whole lot unless like you guys actually want me to. So this is just kind of more like I'm playing and you guys get to listen. Also, if my voice sounds like it's not carrying, I do apologize, guys. My microphone's not completely near my mouth, for one, and two, I've got my fan kind of going on a higher setting because it's hot in this apartment. So I'm gonna turn my mic off for a little bit. If you guys join me, or, you know, comment, I will flip my mic back on and comment. But otherwise, I'm just gonna be chilling and playing the game, and, you know, if you guys want to watch me, I'm cool with that. If you don't, I'm cool with that too. But I just thought that it'd be something fun. Throw like a YouTube stream out here, and you guys can, you know, watch me play this game, and just a relaxation stream. Like it says, it's a chill stream.
Be a challenge. Hope you're not my last customer.
The prophet... has foreseen our victory.
What? So we fight too. Honor always.
I can't carry any more. That is not possible.
Decay and rot.
I'm unable to get it open.
This world can abide you no longer.
Give it more time.
All must serve the cycle. Beckons.
I need to go back.
Him.
Mother! Where's Mia?
I snuck her out back. Through the bookcase.
In the alley? There are bandits or worse out there!
This door will have to wait. Kill him!
I thought you abandoned me. No, dear sister. Never. Come with me now, Mia. Mother will be so happy you're safe.
Get to safety before it is too...
No! I must prove myself to death. I can hear them. The voices speak to me again. What? Death is coming? But I can't die. I can't. I am too important to have my life just thrown away. Please, tell me how I can avoid my fate. You want me to do what? Must I? Oh, yes. Yes, I will. I swear it. I will do anything.
It is done.
You mean yourself?
My grandmother. With the peasants' support. Of course, there will be...
You would upset the balance for personal gain.
I have spent my whole life preparing for this day, you primitive heathen.
That needs to recharge.
That foe will die.
Give it more time.
Serve the cycle.
My master. Soon demon spawn like you will be gone forever.
Or you will be. Have you considered that?
The demon spawn
Returning to town.
Let us... seek honor together.
Let us fight this evil together. It was an honor.
Consumes you. I can bring that down.
Something now inhabits the fortress. I am certain of it. Long have I gazed upon its scarred facade, dreaming of the safe haven its walls offer. But it has changed. The vacant terraces have turned cold. I am so desperate to escape the demons that whatever is in the fortress may be worse.
Trust me, word to the wise to anyone that ever wants to attempt to do half of these trophies, be prepared to do a lot of grinding. Like, let's do a status update thing here. How far am I as far as bounties? 201. Okay, so I'm about a quarter of the way, or almost there, as far as bounties. I'm a quarter of the way there, so that's not bad. I mean, doing 500 bounties actually is not difficult, depending on what it is. I usually set my game to normal, which is kind of basically easy mode, just because it helps me speed run through a lot of these a little bit faster. So it doesn't sound like much, but trust me, it's a much bigger help than you think. What do we got as far as classes? Let's see. Skeleton Crew. 257. Okay, that's not bad. So I'm pretty much at the halfway point of getting that trophy knocked out. Good. Because right now I've got the 500 bounties, Skeleton Crew, which I'm working through, and then, you know, Up All Night to Get Lucky, which is you have to get level 70 legendary gear in every single slot. So this is kind of a grind. But you know, it keeps me playing the game, and
weakness consumes you.
It was kind of funny because somebody asked me, they said, well, what are you going to do? Just, you know, like, platinum it and then never play it again? I actually like playing through Diablo, and I feel with no pressure, after getting all the trophies, I'll have no pressure. I can pretty much play however I want at that point. I don't know, the game itself is very addicting and it's very stress relieving, so that's why I'm doing kind of a chill stream. I thought, you know, because I've been playing this and Fallout 4 a lot more recently. I've been in an RPG kind of mood. It's just kind of interesting. It's interesting how you kind of, depending on what you like playing, how your mood kind of determines what you feel like playing. Like, I'll go through moods where I'll, like, not play games for a while and then end up, you know, getting rid of them or having too many games to play and this and that and so forth, and it gets interesting after a while. Okay. New event. What do we got? Oh. Oh, is this destroying all the crystal hives?
You will make a fine corpse.
And yes, before anybody asks, that is a zombie unicorn. That is, in fact, a zombie unicorn as my pet. You can get pets as like a cosmetic thing. Let's see, what is this? Oh, that's for the enchantress. You can get wings, you can get pets, which for me, I got a spider, a skull, unihorn, which is basically a zombie unicorn, a half-formed golem. And since, I don't know if they've now got it cut off, but since, you know, it's StarCraft's 20th anniversary, they also gave us a little spaceship. And then a whole bunch of other pets that I have not discovered yet. So it's interesting, it's fascinating to me.
I need to go back.
But it's all good. It is all good and gravy, ladies and gentlemen. We are... Oh, let me go talk to Tyrael.
You have finished.
And I'm sure some of you are like, well, you know, you're already level 70 on this character. Why are you going? Paragon.
I am overburdened.
Paragon actually will definitely help you, especially with leveling other characters. So I'm having fun with this. So let's continue, guys. Getting deeper into the madness.
Consumes you. You will make a fine corpse. This creature will die.
to town.
That's just insane. I mean, it's hilarious, but it's insane. I love that I get like so high a kill count that the game just pretty much is like this. Even the game's just looking at me like, okay, this is just insane. I don't know. I guess maybe the game thinks that I'm like spamming too many enemies. You know, like spamming too many enemies, getting killed. So they just don't give me the experience points because they want to make it fair. But either which way, it's hilarious to me. Dude, that was not a good idea on their part. They just bottlenecked themselves, basically. I pretty much have free reign to take them out if I wanted to. And I think once I'm done with Skeleton Crew, it'll also be good because then I can add my golem back to my build. Because the way that I have this built in the game, as far as my personal builds, I usually have the golem in there. But because I'm doing Skeleton Crew, which requires me letting like rare enemies, like the Risen here and that gold-plated guy, I kind of have to make it just my skeletons, because otherwise it just will not count anything. I mean, there's no law that says that they have to be the only ones to attack, but it makes it a little bit quicker and a little bit better if I'm able to slice and dice through a lot of them. So what do we got? Paragon level 61. Oh, so I have... Okay, so I got pretty good stats. I'm liking this. I wonder how much it'll actually go to here at the main menu. I imagine pretty high.
Weakness consumes you.
I don't know. I'm not like one of those stat people when I play this game.
An interesting opponent.
And that's not to say that I, laugh at the people that do, the stat numbers and everything. I mean, you can play however you want to play, but I'm a casual D3 player. I don't really get into the whole crunching numbers and statistics. I just want to play the game and, clutch stuff. Make no mistake, we're probably to a point where I'll have to... I mean, with all the Paragon leveling, I imagine I could probably bring a lot of my characters' strengths up. I don't know if there's like a stat limit, or if I can just level my characters up so everything is maxed out. Which I imagine that would probably make the game unfair if I did what they would refer to as unbalanced stat playing. I don't know. I'm trying to make myself sound more intelligent. It's just kind of interesting.
seconds.
You would think it would be annoying, like just going through this game and not getting what I want, but I also know that by... Okay, why is there a checkpoint? Anyway, let me go over.
I've dug up some new things for you to
Is the game now glitching out weirdly to where it's... I'll give you that. What is this? Knight's Fault. Nope.
This is well crafted.
Aha! I knew you'd need my help.
What is this? Absolutely, I will give Cormac that.
Stay in the light.
And I'm sure some of you are like, well, why are you dismissing your allies too? Trust me, I'm at a high enough level where it doesn't really affect or bother me that much to dismiss my allies. Because like I said, I'm playing on like easy, so... I'm playing on like normal or easy, so I'm not worried about dying quickly. I just am worried about... I just want to try to take less of a time. I just want to take less time to be able to get through at least a few of these trophies.
Decay and rot.
Although I am curious about that, if there's like a limit. Because I've not necessarily looked into it, but I am curious if there's a paragon, if there's like a paragon limit. Because if so, that sucks, but if you're able to max out all the paragon, I wonder how long that would take. There's probably people that have been playing for years before still haven't fully gotten to maximum paragon, and if they have, their characters must be insane. Like practically One Punch Man level. I mean, I like the paragon system as much as I like the elective mode, because I feel with elective mode, for those that play this or haven't played this, elective mode is good for extra stat building. Not appropriately garbed to read this tome. I always laugh every time that I come in here because it always says that to me. You know, like it makes all the difference to me. So, a Truth Reborn. I mean, the way I look at it, I'm taking out the 500 bounties, I'm taking out the last Necromancer trophy, so if the very, very last one does happen to be the Up All Night, I'm okay with that.
Give it more time.
mean, I know it probably doesn't... You know, I like playing on normal because it's not... It doesn't feel like a pain. It doesn't feel like a chore. And it makes everything kind of go a little smoother on me. Like, I'm just using my skeletons alone, and... Like, I'm just using my skeletons, and that feels... It feels good. I mean, it feels great because I don't feel like I have to have high gear, and I can just kind of basically boost through everything. And of course, I say gear in this matter, but I'm talking about in the context of like tournament or master level, like gearing. Pretty much the gear I got makes me pretty OP through a lot of the enemies in this game, except for the bosses. So it works hand in hand.
Everyone is dead. Billard, that damn fool, was killed trying to communicate with the Khosra. And then the cultists showed up. As soon as I saw them on land, I wanted no part of their dark magic. I heard the screams of my companions, but there was nothing I could do to help.
Okay, so now we've gotta find wherever this last thing is.
This creature will die.
I mean, once I'm done with Skeleton Crew, I can add the Golem back in here, which is basically what that Devour Corpses ability is basically taking. Because I got the Devour Corpses just predominantly so that way I wouldn't accidentally summon the Golem while I'm, you know, running through trying to do this. Which is fine, I mean, it's cool, I like it. Ah, there's that last one. Trying to hide on me.
back.
Okay, so basically all junk that I can salvage. That's insane how much money I've actually acquired in this game. Like, ridiculous money, actually. Okay. Legendary amulet, and I don't have what they need. So let's see what I need. I've got this. I've got this. Let's see what I need as far as stats. Okay, so I pretty much have this. This doesn't count as level 70. I'm just keeping this for now. I probably should upgrade, though. I am streaming a little bit of Diablo 3 since I felt like playing it, Lewis, and so I'm just kind of doing a chill stream. I'm not actually doing a video. I just figured since I was playing this, I'd just stream it for everybody too while I was at it. Okay, so I need level 70 something for offhand. Need a legendary for main hand. So main hand, offhand. Well, I got stuff for the main hand. I'm not worried about that. Offhand I can pretty much get. I've got 2 rings. I got boots. I just need legs, belt. I think I got belt. If not, then I might be able to find a belt from one of my other characters. I'm sure some of y'all are like watching this and you're just like, Steve, why are you really strategizing this? I'm just trying to figure this out in my head. Okay, so I've got this, so I don't need to worry about that. But I need neck, head. I got chest. And I need shoulders, hands. You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna check one of my... Let me actually check some of my other characters. I'll check some of my other level 70 characters to see if I got stuff they can use. And I'll go down the list here. Let's see what Vala has. Okay, I don't need rings. I got boots. I'm gonna see if I can give that to my necromancer. Well, that's because Insomniac, Lewis, actually said that they wanted it to be very Arkham inspired, but they also said that they wanted it to feel like Spider-Man. Plus, that kind of game, the Arkham style, if you will, that actually works, especially for Spider-Man. Like, it works on a metaphysical level because you... What's the word I'm trying to look for? I'm drawing a blank here. Why am I drawing a blank? Okay, so Burr doesn't have anything. Let's see what Suri has. Or Serene, whatever. I'm not good with pronunciation. I'm sure some of y'all are looking at me like, man, you can't. Man, you can't say people's names right. Yeah, I know I can't. You know what? I'm gonna take out Chains of Shadows. Wait, is that level 70? That is a legend. If not that, then Chain of Shadows. Crap. Oh, I don't wanna. Hang on. Where's the belt? Oh, okay, so I can't equip that then. Now I gotta go back. Now I gotta go back to Vala and re-equipped that belt. Okay, so that's a barbarian only belt. No, it makes a lot of sense because Insomniac have said that they love the Arkham games as well, so they took a lot of inspiration from it. But they said that they wanted to craft the game in a way to where it felt familiar to people that were Arkham fans, but they also wanted to craft a game that felt unique, felt kind of like, it would belong as far as Spider-Man himself. Okay, where is... Nope. Wait a minute. What is this? Legendary bracers? No, I already got bracers. Neck! There we go. Unequipped that. Perfect. So I got two main weapons for the Necromancer. So I've got bracers, now I've got neck, I've got a belt, I've got this and this. I just need, then I got boots, and now all I need is just pants, hands, shoulders, and head. I'm not gonna lie though, I like the way that Insomniac have kind of done something different with the fact that it's, Peter's been Spider-Man for 8 years, but it's also, a lot of the character models have changed. They're kind of not the same character, which I rather find ingenious because it works. Thunderhead's Vigor. I'll go with the one belt. Well, crapola. Let's see if I got... see what Prita has here. Some of y'all are just laughing. You're like, Steve, is it really worth it to try to check every single character? Yeah. Yeah, Diablo's one of Blizzard's big franchises. Okay, neck. Nope. That's 47. That's 61. Well... fart knuckles. Okay, I have no idea why that was the first thing that popped into my head. Hilarious, but I have no idea why that was the first thing that popped into my head. I don't know. I'm looking at this and I'm like, have I seriously not collected enough stuff? Where's the pants? I don't have pants. Why do I not have pants? It's funny you actually admit. Yeah, Blizzard does Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Diablo, StarCraft, which you can see here. This is actually a 20th anniversary pet that can follow your companion around, which I thought was actually a cool little add to people that play the game. Storm of Heroes is another one that they did, which is like their mega crossover kind of thing for all the Blizzard related franchises. Yeah, Blizzard's done quite a few games actually. And Blizzard also announced, speaking of Blizzard, and of course, Overwatch, they just recently announced they announced the newest hero for Overwatch, which I had to laugh at because it's apparently a hamster.
This will be a challenge.
Okay, forward barracks. Not a fan of Warcraft, didn't care to go see the movie, so I just wasn't on my list. I don't know, it didn't appeal to me. It felt kind of like, and it seems like an unfair comparison, but it felt kind of more like the Lord of the Rings kind of knockoff, but they tried too hard. Then again, that's biased because a lot of the video game movies are like for franchises that I like playing. Like, I can watch the Hitman movies and feel okay with it. Or if they did a movie about Diablo here, I probably would watch it. I don't know, I'm very finicky about that kind of stuff. And plus, like a lot of people, I still try to get the taste of Super Mario Brothers out of my mouth. Even though that movie is now a hilarious guilty pleasure as I've gotten older. It's like a movie that's so bad you can't help but laugh at it kind of mentality. Oh, there we go. Now I was about to say, are my skeletons whittling everybody down eventually? Speaking of which, let me check the progress here. How far along are we? 279. Okay, good. I am almost at 300. I'm passing milestones at least. But this is still killing me inside. Because I really don't want to be having to try to kill 500 dudes with just my skeletons.
Consumes you.
Luckily for me, it seems like it's getting easier. Okay. Ooh, big room. I don't know. I think it's also because I'm a 90s kid. So, like, I grew up with those movies. And they're just so bad that they're... I don't know what it is, but it's like, it's one of those, like, the movie is so bad, it's actually good. Like, to me, I don't like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but I love watching it for comedic purposes. Now, the first Mortal Kombat movie I can watch, and that's about the closest we will probably ever get to, like, an authentic Mortal Kombat movie. Like, everything about that movie, regardless of the horrendous CGI, is the closest thing that we will probably ever get to... like what the games actually were like. And plus a lot of the characters felt like the characters. Now Street Fighter, on the other hand, between Jean-Claude Van Damme being coked up and sleeping with Kylie Minogue, to of course, I forget his name, Paul something, but the guy who played Gomez Adams eventually like getting sicker and about to pass away, like that. I don't know, the stuff that I've read now that have come out about that movie just, it makes it so much more terrible, but it's not so much more hilarious, Lewis, just because, like, the movie was apparently from start to finish a giant train wreck of a film. It was also the fact that the actor playing Ryu had to stand on apple crates next to the actor playing Ken because he was short.
Why are you here alone?
All of my lads are dead. And I mean to see these bastards suffer for what they've done. Are you with me? Here they are! Charge! Well, the ones in the skies have finally graced us with their presence. Cut them down! Those worms have come up from behind. Bloody adorable. They're trying to ambush us. That's the last of those shrieking little devils. Kill them all! They're all dead and we're not. I'd call that a win, eh? I'll hold this bridge. Go on. You have a demon lord's head to put on a pike.
I know, right? Like, it's funny because I never knew that was Kylie Minogue that actually played Candy, believe it or not, and my mother and I used to listen to her music all the time. And I'm sure some people are going to be like, well, I only ever heard her music. I didn't know what she looked like at the time. So now that I found out that that's Kylie Minogue, and the fact that I can't remember, I think I can't remember if she got divorced shortly after that movie or if it was Van Damme. I think it was Minogue herself. But yeah, apparently she was snorting coke with Jean-Claude Van Damme and apparently sleeping with him on the set of Street Fighter. And they were having problems also with Van Damme not wanting to come out of his trailer. Just a bunch of stuff that really just was very typical of Hollywood back then, but you just look at now and it's like, oh god, this is scandal worthy. Like some of the stuff that Van Damme has done, especially even from the set of that movie, it makes a lot of the past stuff that Robert Downey Jr. did actually look pretty tame, and that's actually kind of scary in comparison, because yeah, I know, it's crazy. Like, the actor that they hired to play Ryu was actually shorter than the actor playing Shinko in the scenes where it's the two of them. He's actually standing on apple crates. And they tried to shoot a lot of the fight scenes with them together to try to not show that he was, you know, short or anything.
Is my...
It's the little funny things.
I can't...
Oh.
breathe.
Oh, I am going to the vault. Forget that. How much inventory room do I have? Oh, okay, that's hilarious. That's probably the first time in a long while that I've actually gotten a thing for the vault. Like, that's a rare portal that actually shows up in this game. Okay. If that's the case, let's... No, that's campaign, that's cooperative, that's set dungeons. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, kill greed without getting hit by her charge, shockwave and falling chest attacks. Hold on, because this is such a rarity, I want to see what other challenges I can complete in here. Defeat greed at max level in under 30 seconds on torment or higher. Hell no. Collect 2,000 gold during a single greed encounter. I might try that one. Okay, so pretty much the only one I can do is the greed. Is the collect all the money from greed. So I'm gonna say no to that one. Okay, that's clever. I like that. they got an enemy in here called Midas. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I never knew what Kylie Minogue looked like, and then after I found out, I was like, wait, that's Cammy from Street Fighter. That's... The craziest part is the guy that played Zangief still does, like, fan events, and he still, every once in a while during his panels, apparently does the, quick, change the channel. Everybody, anytime I watch that movie, friends look at me funny, Lewis. They're like, why the hell is that so funny to you? I'm like, it's just the look on his face when they backed the truck and they, quick, change the channel. And it's just DJ and everybody else's look like they just looked at him like, you're an idiot. Like I said, it's a guilty pleasure movie. You know, and there's so many problems with that movie. Like, Sagat is like 5'4", or like 6 foot. Like he's not even tall. Oh, that had to hurt. Actually, you know what? I'm scared to open this, so let's see. Oh, yeah, I should not have opened that. Okay. Okay. That's enough of satisfying my inner sadist. Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. One more. Like, that is so messed up and demented. Like, literally just even after you get everything, you can just still keep slamming the chest on her. Like, that's so horrible. You know, I want to watch the Assassin's Creed movie just to kind of see, like, how bad they took...
Laura,
Yes?
why do you keep glancing over at Kadala?
Oh, just making sure she isn't up to anything suspicious.
Anyway, what was I gonna say? I just want to watch the Assassin's Creed movie just to see, like, how bad they actually make it. You know what? I'm gonna put this in the chest because that is a cool gem, and I don't want to lose that. Move item to stash. That will stay in my stash. I don't care what anybody says. Now, what is this? I'm almost petrified. It's so messed up and horrible. Oh, yes. Yes, we have shoulders. And I'm gonna equip these, because... Okay, what do we got here? So we've got legendary shoulders. Okay, so we got legendary shoulders. Judging by... Okay. So move this from this from this. And this from this. And this. And this. And this. Okay, so let's put this all together. So this with this, so level 70, level 70. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay, that's already level 70. I don't know why I grabbed that. Okay, level 70. Level 70. Level 70. So 70, 70, 70, 70. 70, 70, hang on, there we go, 70, 70, I know that's annoying sounding, but I'm trying to accurately gauge here, because I'm trying to get a trophy, Lewis, called Up All Night to Get Lucky, which is you have to get level 70 grade like legendary armor in every single inventory slot. So I'm trying to see which ones I got left. Okay, so legendary. Okay, so the ring. Okay, so offhand, both rings. Feet, belt, main hand, shoulders, chest, neck, bracers. So all I need now is pants and a helmet. So clearly all I need now is hands, or gloves, whichever, hands, head, and pants. I'm not going to actually go to Hadrig because because Hadrig actually has a recipe. There it is. For a legendary helm. There's that. Legendary gloves. And please tell me that there's legendary pants. Yes! Yes, I can actually... Okay, I'm gonna craft me some legendary pants. And I'm gonna equip that. And will this work? Yes, it will. Trophy unlocked. Awesome. So all I got left is the 500 bounties and getting 500 enemies for Skeleton Crew, and I will have Diablo 3 done. Okay, now let's You know what? I'm actually going to keep the devil tongue. You know what? I'm actually going to keep these. Because these two are going to make my mage so much more powerful. Not my mage, but my character so much more powerful. I'm going to switch back to this. And to this. That can stay. Going back to this. This. To this. This. Awesome. And since I pretty much already crafted these, I'm just going to throw them into the chest. Because screw that, I am not wasting resources. I have not seen Solo, not sure I really cared to see it, even if I did want a Han Solo based movie. I really didn't kind of feel like I wanted to see it, just because I know it probably would have ended up being a train wreck to me personally. So no, I didn't see it. I'll probably sit down with my mother to watch it, to be honest, but I'm not expecting much. I really am not. I'm expecting it to really, really not go well, actually. Hey, so... Okay, so I got the Devil Tongue Sword, which... that actually looks pretty cool, I won't lie. I don't mind the Devil Tongue Sword, that looks pretty good. I like the Ice Climbers. Not gonna lie, that skull-based crucifix is actually pretty cool, but also pretty creepy, but that's kind of the point of the Necromancer. The Necromancer is meant to be kind of creepy and uncomfortable and very cult-like looking. Okay. I do like that though. That's awesome. So I got up all night to get lucky. Equipped all inventory slots with legendary items that have a minimum requirement of... Okay, so that is basically one less trophy to have to worry about now. So now, let's see. 282. Okay, so Skeleton Crew might be the next one that I possibly get out of all these. Battling 500. 207. Okay, yeah, this is definitely going to take me a while to still get to 500. I'm trying to think in my head here. I'm like, hold on, let me run a couple of calculations here.
I must wait.
Oh, wait, that's right. When I went to the vault, I got all the way over there. Crap. I gotta run all the way back now. I'm not gonna lie, I do want more pets. But I know that that's gonna come with time. Because you can get dozens of pets in this game.
I must wait.
Like, that to me is actually cool. Like, you can get little pets that don't really do much. They're just like a cosmetic thing, like little characters to follow you. The only one I can't seem to get rid of is the little, like, treasure goblin following me around here. Like, the little treasure goblin following me around here, I can't, for some reason, transfer him to other characters. I guess he's just a special reward for whoever, I guess, kills, like, the 100 treasure goblins in the game. It basically gives that character the treasure goblins. Huh. Bone zombies. They're not zombies, they're skeletons. And they're my skeletal warriors, which makes it even cooler. Priest of Rathma. What is this? StarCraft 20th anniversary. Oh. Oh, that's right. I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute. Something about this don't look right. Where's the... Oh, wait, no. Okay, it's not in here. Is it in... Oh, it's probably in Triumphs. There we go. Kill 100 treasure goblins. Sigil, Ascent, and okay, I guess whoever gets the trophy first is the character that gets the treasure goblin. Or unless said character kills over 100, they'll get one themselves. Yeah, like I'll show you, because you get skeletal mages and or bowmen, which you can basically raise a skeleton out of the ground to like shoot fireballs and stuff at your enemies. Can create clones, but what I love is the golem. You can create a giant frickin' golem to help you out in combat, which I love. That ability, believe it or not, is so very helpful.
I feel a bit crispy around the edges, but I'm fine now, thanks to you. Let's go!
You're gonna die.
This creature will die.
Because that's usually how characters like that work. I love that bone zombies. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like when I first... Like, I love the Necromancer and I love the Witch Doctor just because they both kind of have, like, really cool things. Now, if you want to talk about zombies, the Witch Doctor is cool because the Witch Doctor, you can actually definitely use a lot of zombie attacks, but what's interesting about the Witch Doctor is you get many different zombie variants. You can have zombie dogs as companions, a gargantuan zombie. You can summon zombie bears to charge enemies. So it's... Does this game have dragons in them? No, this game does not have dragons. This game is more like a traditional gothic kind of setting, so it has more like, you know, goblins, demons, angels, Bigfoot-like creatures, giant serpent-like monsters. I guess the closest thing to dragons, if you want to call it that, is maybe like the kimono-esque creatures. Like, see, these are the closest things that you'll get to kind of like dragons. I did not expect to cut his head off. Okay, moving on. He turned into sushi. But no, this game doesn't really actually have dragons, and probably for good reason. Because somebody asked them about that. They said, would you ever introduce dragons? And I think the only thing that does have dragons, though, or at least the closest variation to them, is actually some of the wizards' attacks are actually like Hydra-based, which is kind of like a dragon. Or very dragon-esque looking. This? Oh, this guy's all the way over here.
Weakness consumes you.
Funny thing is when the game first started, the vanilla Diablo 3, it was actually just 5 classes. You had the barbarian, the demon hunter, the monk, the witch doctor, and the wizard. Then they had, oh, what was it called? Then they had the Reaper of Souls expansion, which then added the Crusader. And recently, oh, hang on a second. Yeah, and then recently they did the Heart of Darkness, or whatever it was, where they added the Priests of Rathma expansion, which basically was a character pack that gives you the character that I'm playing now, Lewis, which is the Necromancer, which was a character that a lot of people requested that was very huge in Diablo 2. I was trying to think there. I'm trying to multitask and it's not doing very good. But yeah, a lot of people have been wanting the Necromancer to come back since Diablo 2. So this is probably the last and most recent expansion thus far that Blizzard has done for Diablo 3, is giving people the chance to play the Necromancer again. And they definitely made it very similar to the Witch Doctor, but also a little bit more complex and intricate than the Witch Doctor's play style. Like with the Witch Doctor, you had zombies, you had voodoo. With this, you're literally summoning the undead, you're using the undead, you make blood sacrifices to be able to become more powerful. Like, case in point, you not only have skeletons, and using elective mode, you can't just add your golem, but you can even, after you kill enemies, I'm sure you're seeing me absorb them too quickly, but you can basically take the corpses of your enemies and you can trigger them to be explosive, or you can resurrect those enemies temporarily to actually fight on your side. And you can have up to 10 summoned, resurrected minions at a time. So you're talking about, massive crowd control using, basically fighting enemies with their own, friends and allies, family, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, rambling on. No, I had to stop to answer a text message for a second. My mother was texting me something important, asking me a very important question. Had to take the time to answer her back. And I've, of course, been playing... Man, I've been playing close to 2 hours. Okay. See, it's 2:30. Yeah. I'll probably run this for a little bit longer and then probably go do a few things. Probably do a couple of other things once I get off here. Ooh. Yeah, like I'll give you an idea, Lewis. I don't want it to seem like I'm being belligerent, Lewis. I'm just saying, you know, like you look at the. I mean, you can summon bone spikes out of the ground, an ethereal like scythe. One of my favorite abilities, you can siphon blood from enemies, which you can actually regenerate your resource, which is called essence, and also your health, depending on how you do it. And then you got your secondary, which you can shoot bone spikes. Like I said, ethereal, like skeletal mages, unleash a nova of necromantic energy, corpse explosion, summon projectiles from an enemy's corpse, devour them, which basically will regain your health or your essence, revive, which I just pretty much told you about, summon skeletons, command a golem, summon a massive army of death to plummet the target location, which basically send an undead legion to completely decimate enemy foes. I have no idea what Land of the Dead does, but I don't really care to use it. My least favorite ability. You can curse your enemies, which can cripple them. Bone armor, which you can rip the bones out of nearby enemies, which not the most impressive ability. Neither is this. Blood Rush is good because it's like a teleport ability. And I've got the modifier ruin where it takes away the health cost, so I can just zip at the expense of it just being a cooldown now. And I can summon my own blood clone. Yeah, really creepy. Awesome, but creepy. I was playing it one time and my mother looked at me and she goes, "That's just disgusting." She goes, how could they consider that kind of character a hero? I said, the necromancers in this universe. Well, no, and the interesting thing is a lot of people think with the necromancers that, they... Hang on. Oh. Apparently my mother's workplace, their internet went out and it's all throughout the area in PA where she works at. So she was texting me asking me if here at the apartment if the internet was down, and I was telling her no, I'm actually doing a gaming stream and everything's fine. And she goes, well, maybe it's just the internet down here where I work at, because she said people were saying that it apparently is down on a grid level, which sucks. It sucks when the internet goes down a grid level, because then that means it's not just her business but corresponding businesses and people's homes and stuff. I'm specifying that for those watching that are looking at this later on and wondering why I'm pausing so much. But no, the thing with Diablo 3 is Blizzard made it a traditional, mature gothic kind of game. And if you really look into the lore, Lewis, it's really dark and twisted. It's a very macabre universe. because you have all these different brands of heroes. The first Diablo, you just had the warrior, the mage, and I think a rogue. And then in Diablo 2, it was like barbarian, necromancer, wizard, and I think a few other characters. But the thing about the necromancers in this universe, they are actually part of a cult called the Priests of Rathma. R-A-T-H-M-A.
No longer.
I know, right? Nah, Kratos is more of an anti-hero. But no, the necromancers in this universe, Lewis, they are referred to as the priests of Rathma, which they are kind of like a group and or cult that believe in serving what they call the balance. The balance is pretty simplistic. It's basically the balance of life. Essentially, they basically uphold the stranglehold. They uphold the mentality of everything in life should be balanced. Good should not overthrow evil. Evil should not overthrow good. Basically, in other words, they're kind of like the dark video game version of Dr. Fate. They believe in balancing everything. You know, like take not, want not is kind of their cult and or group's mentality. And when something upsets that balance, especially the demons and evil, they will take up arms to help not only rebalance the life cycle, but the priests of Rathma also, they're not terrible human beings. They do help people. It's just they are considered very weird, very out there, and very not so much shunned but more feared by the general public in the entire continent of Sanctuary, which is what they call the human world here. Because the lore is basically very interesting, and for those that watch my streams or play Diablo, I'm just explaining this for Lewis's sake because I find this very interesting lore-wise. But basically, in Diablo's lore, Lewis, every single human being within Sanctuary, this giant human continent, basically the globe between, the burning hells, which they call it, and the high heavens, we're basically, humanity's the middle ground. And that we all actually have a hidden tapped potential for accessing heavenly and angelic powers as well as demonic. Because every single human, and I mean every single absolute human within Sanctuary in this universe, is a Nephilim. They basically are the offspring of an angel and a demon. Like every single human being, they have that potential within them. And so a lot of the heroes you play as are people that actually have tapped into that unknowingly. Which explains a lot of their crazy powers. But the belief with the Nephilim is that they basically are the offspring of, I believe Ananias was his name, the angel Ananias, and the daughter of the Lord of Hell Mephisto, his daughter Lilith. So Lilith and Ananias, an angel and a demon who did not want any part of the eternal war, the eternal conflict as they call it, the war between heaven and hell that had went on for centuries and ages. But the eternal conflict, the war between the high heavens and the burning hells, Lewis, it got to a point to where Ananias and Lilith broke away from that, got away from heaven and hell, actually fell in love, and that's how humanity were created. That's how the Nephilim, or humanity, were created in the Diablo universe. They are the generational offspring of Anais and Lilith, and they've only grown. And this has raised the ire and contempt of the high heavens, who actually had a vote to eliminate humanity and Sanctuary, believing that if they ever unlocked the key to their powers, they would become far too evil. And actually, this guy right here, Tyrael, Tyrael actually is an angel, or rather a former angel here in Diablo 3's storyline, because for the first 2 games, Tyrael was an angel, and he was the angel of justice. And he actually was the one that was the final deciding vote that kept humanity alive. And by Diablo 3's storyline, he actually did something very blasphemous to the angels in the high heavens, which is he ripped off his own wings to make himself mortal, to forewarn all of us in humanity in this game that the remaining lords of hell were going to plan on taking over Sanctuary. Oh yeah, Lilith is the daughter, or at least this version of Lilith is the daughter of the Lord of Hell, Mephisto. And she grew tired of her father's conquest. She wanted to get away from the Eternal War. And so when Anais was captured, she made him a proposition. You help me escape, and I'll make sure that none of the people, in heaven seek you as a traitor, because what they did was actually blasphemous on both sides. They both were going to be killed by either side. And it enraged both of them. But if anything, Anais and Lilith had foresight, because the eternal conflict was never going to end. The angels and demons were going to fight forever. And so a pact was made between the high hells and the high heavens. They would fight each other on the battlefield of eternity, and that was the only place that they were ever going to fight. The demons were not allowed to take over Sanctuary, and the angels weren't allowed to interfere within Sanctuary. So it was almost like, so basically humanity... Yeah, there's actually a cutscene. I'll actually... Since I'm getting into it, I'm going to show you this. This is how badass Tyrael is as a character. There's the cinematics. Ah, here we go. Watch this cutscene, Lewis.
It was all just stories. My uncle saw what he wanted to see.
Deckard sacrificed much to protect this world. But his work is not over.
What would you know about sacrifice?
Tyrael, the ancient law of the high heavens strictly forbids us from interfering with the mortal world. Yet you have done so, brazenly.
All I am guilty of, Imperius, is bringing justice, while you hide, cowering behind your throne.
Silence! You will now answer for your transgressions.
You cannot judge me. I am justice itself. We were meant for more than this. To protect the innocent. But if our precious laws bind you all to inaction, then I will no longer stand as your brother.
You chose to be one of us.
Thus, I fell willingly.
And the angel that he actually was fighting there, Lewis, his name is Imperius. He is the angel of valor, and actually, like, I guess you could say the head honcho of all the angels. And basically, he's now considered the angel of wrath because he has such contempt for the Nephilim that he was actually the one that wanted them annihilated. And he's the one that actually, throughout the entirety of Diablo 3 here, not only blames Tyrael, but blames you, the hero, as saying, when Diablo breaks through the white gates and starts assaulting heaven, that it's your fault. So he's very biased, very hateful, and he's absolutely venomous. He's very ungrateful for the fact that even after you save the heavens, he still blames you. Like that. But what's really cool about Tyrael, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, is he still keeps his sword. That's the cool part. The sword that Tyrael wields is his heavenly sword, which I forget the name of his sword, but it has such a badass name to it. And it's actually a living, like, heavenly ethereal sword. Like, this thing is powerful enough that he could cleave a line through demons. Almost like an ethereal holy shockwave. It's just, it's such a cool sword. But yeah, because in the Diablo storyline, Tyrael had coerced with Deckard Cain, who was part of what they call the Haradrim. The Haradrim were basically, they were kind of like, well, no, Imperius is considered the angel of valor because, like, he was the most valorous, the most courageous of angels. But now he's kind of mockingly considered the angel of wrath because his pride and anger have gotten the best of him to the point that it's clouded his judgment. And there are many in the high heavens who, they don't talk about it in the game, but there's many angels in the high heavens that it's been kind of hinted at that they are kind of starting to become disillusioned with him, that he's, lost his way, kind of. And a lot of people think that it's very ironic that Malthael being the former angel of wisdom and the angel of death, basically Diablo's version of the Grim Reaper, in the Reaper of Souls DLC here, which that basically Imperius is going to end up like Malthael. He's going to... And I don't blame Malthael, because Malthael in the first two Diablo games had went to Sanctuary to spy on humanity. He was curious about us. And he ultimately became disillusioned and believed that humanity should have been wiped out because we choose evil rather than good. And he said even if people were good, they still had demonic blood, and that was no good. Yeah, Imperius is a very powerful angel. Like, he is essentially, like you said, a high angel. So, like, he's the head of the Injurious Council. And for great reason, but Tyrael was the smartest. Tyrael, like his aspect, he is the aspect of justice. He believes in fairness. He believes that everything that we know about justice, that is Tyrael incarnate. So, he believes that humanity, while they are flawed, that they deserved to live. Like I said, and he even talks about it in the game, he was the deciding vote if the high heavens should have invaded Sanctuary and wiped out humanity. He was the deciding vote that kept humanity alive. And over time, Tyrael became fond of humanity because of the fact that he saw the capacity for evil, but he also saw the capacity for great good. He saw that not all of humanity was flawed and worth saving. And part of the reason that he ripped his wings off was, if you're not into the Diablo lore, Diablo 2, they had this thing called the World Stone. The World Stone was basically like a giant, like, soul generator. It was like the heart of the earth itself, if that makes any sense. Well, in Diablo 2, Diablo had actually corrupted the stone, and it had to be destroyed. And when it did, it basically took Tyrael with it, and Tyrael was believed to have died. But Tyrael, in fact, actually survived the encounter, and when he found out that the remaining Lords of Hell were making a vie to become, the great evil, the satanic kind of equivalent, he wanted to warn humanity, but he was basically, as you saw in that cutscene, court-martialed and was sentenced to death by Imperius, which they fought. He gained the upper hand and told Imperius basically, look, if you're not going to help me, then I'm going to help humanity. And I refuse to stand around here in the high heavens and watch Sanctuary burn because you want to, be bound by frivolous laws and inaction. And that's when Tyrael, as you saw, ripped his own wings off and fell from the high heavens to earth. So Tyrael is kind of a badass, and is actually, that's what makes him really likable and interesting to me, is that he is so set and so structured on humanity itself that he is willing to sacrifice his own eternal life and angelhood for us. And he's now the new leader post Diablo 3. Tyrael is now the new leader of the Haradrim, which is like a secret set of monks, warriors, scribes, etc. People that are studying the angel and demon mentalities and bestiaries, etc. Like, basically, the best way to put it, think of the Haradrim as kind of like an officialized force to help fight demons and fight rogue angels. Like, they're very highly trained, very highly skilled, very meticulous, mathematicians, wizards, etc. They're a collective. They're a group that basically kind of tries to make sure that there's a checks and balances. But what you have been... I looked at Diablo and I was like, oh, this is such a dark, macabre universe. It's like, I'm not sure that I would, be into this. But then when I started looking into the lore, Lewis, I'm like, this is actually kind of an interesting universe. And, all the different characters have a different purpose. Case in point, like I said, the necromancers, they're called the priests of Rathma. They believe in serving the balance, the balance of the universe, life and death. The barbarians, for example, actually, Bastion's Keep, which is one of the locations here, is near the crater of Mount Ariat. Mount Ariat was the barbarians' home and home to the World Stone. The barbarians were actually the guardians of the World Stone, and they failed. And so now they're kind of nomads, and they're trying to find a purpose in their life because now their home is gone. And the barbarians follow what they call the elders, the ancients. And one of their biggest ancients, I guess you could say their deity of sorts, is called Balcathos. Bal, and then of course, you know, I think Kathos is Kathos, and Balkathos was basically, he was basically an ancient that the barbarians strive their nobility, their honor, and their strength from, their courage as well. The Crusaders actually have a very tragic backstory because they are the Crusaders of Zakharum. They are part of what is called the Zakharum faith. And the Zakharum faith is, I guess you could say, kind of like Mormons, if you will. Like, you know, they have, like, you know, they're on the opposite of Christianity, but it's more Mormon than anything. And what happened was, who was it now? I don't think it... Maybe it was Mephisto. But one of... Or maybe it was Baal. It was either Baal or Mephisto. But one of the Lords of Hell had apparently been imprisoned underneath the Cathedral of Zakharum. Well, over time, you know, the influence started corrupting those in the Zakharum faith. And so the world does not trust the Crusaders or anybody that follows Zakharum because of the corruption and how bad it got. Like, it got pretty bad. It'd basically be like if you found out the, you know, it was the Zakharum faith pretty much was the equivalent of finding out Catholically that the Pope was making human sacrifices to abstain his youth. Like, you know, it was that kind of bad. Like, you know, they're very heavily scrutinized. And what the Crusaders, especially in this game, are doing is they're trying to not only rebuild the Zakharum faith, but they're not only trying to rebuild the Zakharum faith, but they're trying to restore the reputation by doing heroic deeds and trying to help people. Kind of, but I forget the name of him, but they've never really talked about a pure Satan and a pure God. Like, they've never, like, went there. They've always kind of skirted around the fact that there is a creator in the high heavens that is essentially God, but not in name. And that there's no real, like, true Lord of Hell. You know, in Satan, it's just kind of, you know, there's a dividing line of angels, and there's a dividing line of, you know, demon lords and generals and etc. So, they've never really, like, pointed out that there's a Satan or a God. It's just more, they kind of skirt around the issue that, you know, they're, you know, which I think is a good idea by Blizzard, because you don't want to make it too religiously heavy. You want to make enough lore to where it entices people, but not, like, weird. Yeah, I know, the Zakharum faith, it's hilarious. The name sounds hilarious, but they are. They're kind of like the Mormons or Catholics, if you will, of the Diablo universe. And the Crusaders are trying to prove to people that, you know, hey, we're rebuilding the faith after what happened in Diablo 2. You know, we're trying to make amends and prove to people that, you know, we're not the bad guys anymore. So that's kind of the subplot of the Crusaders within Diablo 3's campaign, if you really pay attention. It's something along those lines. You're not wrong. Although I think it's actually more like a K, although if you take out the C, I think that's how it's actually pronounced. Like Z-A-K and then the rest. The Demon Hunters. Demon Hunters are always a must in Diablo. Diablo 3, the Demon Hunters are kind of more like a secret sect. They kind of hide more in the shadows and hunt demons, and they are all survivors of demon attacks who have basically banded together and decided to train in secret, learning secret shadow arts and, you know, archery skills. So basically the Demon Hunter in this game is like the ultimate ranged character. If you love ranged characters, the Demon Hunter is a good choice. Simply because the Demon Hunter, as a character, it's the tragic backstory of you lost your family, you are the only survivor, and so you take that pain and that guilt and you channel it. And what makes the Demon Hunters interesting is the Demon Hunters, because you live in a world where there's magic and everything, what makes the Demon Hunters interesting, Lewis, is they're basically the engineers of the Diablo universe. They set up various traps. They, in combat can, use a lot of flips. They use crossbows and hand crossbows. They're not really very strong, physically or defensively. So they rely more on speed and obviously, using... I guess you could say Demon Hunters are kind of like the hunter / gunslinger / engineer of the Diablo universe. Like, they'll set up, like, crossbow turrets, they'll lay mine traps. But what's really cool about the Demon Hunters is they don't just set up traps and stuff, but like I said, they study shadow arts. So they can actually summon ethereal shadow creatures to charge enemies, or they can have them, like, dive bomb them from above. And one of the abilities that I have for my female Demon Hunter is you can summon a shadow bird creature to drop, like, a volley of grenades onto the ground for enemies. Almost basically kind of like a tactical airstrike of sorts. So that to me is kind of interesting, but like the Demon Hunters just use their rage and their anger and their grief to basically lash out and kill as many demons as possible. They are not the friendliest characters in the Diablo universe. They're actually the most antisocial. But as long as they're getting to kill demons, they're content, they're happy. That's where their battlefield lies. The monks actually are pretty cool. The monks, just like their name, are very Tibetan-like. These are the monks of, I believe it's pronounced Ivangard, I-V-O-R-A-D, I believe is how it's pronounced, or Ivgard. Something like that. And they're crazy because these monks are, these monks train like Tibetan monks, and they're like Tibetan monks. I mean, they're punching rocks, they're meditating 24 hours a day. Here's what's crazy about the monks' faith, though. The faith actually have many different gods. They have 1,001 gods. Think about that for a second. 1,001 gods that they worship. And one of them, they have many different ones, but the ones that they reference the most is Yitar. And I forget what Yitar is supposed to represent in their faith, but they, for the land, the air, breathing, etc., movement, etc., like, they've got a god that virtually represents everything. Which, I look at that and I'm like, man, it's like, how could you remember all of them? I mean, I love what one of your companion characters, Covetous Shin, who is basically your jeweler character, for, if you want to insert, like, like stat boosting jewels into your armor. I love the joke that he says. He goes, you can't walk down the street and, beg forgiveness from one god without offending another. Which I thought was actually kind of funny, poking fun at, the monk having to always say a prayer to every single god that they worship and not want to offend. But yeah, I already told you about the priests of Rathma. The witch doctors. The witch doctors are interesting because they are, like their name, they are bayou or swamp-based, like, nomadic aborigine people. And the witch doctors see into the land of the dead. They kind of get a view of that. They commune with spirits. Very much in tune with, clairvoyant kind of abilities. And they go into what they call the unformed land. The unformed land obviously being the land of the dead, or the land where spirits roam. So they're very in tune with spirits. They very much are heavy into voodoo and, witchcraft and whatnot. Which obviously that they're called the witch doctor. That should tell you everything about, their ability base. But, it is a very tribal, aborigine. So they're very aborigine, very simplistic tribal nomads. And your character gets a vision that, they need to help stop, the evil forecoming, and that the spirits have forewarned them of great calamity happening. So the witch doctors are pretty simple and to the point. They don't have nearly as interesting a backstory or a mythos to them as, say, the other character classes, but they're the simplest to understand as far as motivations. And they're very cheerful. They're very cheerful and friendly despite being nomadic. Very upbeat and positive. At least that's how the characters portray themselves when you play them in the game. Now, okay, that's barbarian. Now we move on. Yeah, that's what these are. These are the witch doctors. Nomadic swamp people. And I don't say that in a very, belligerent way, but a lot of them are the traditional, tribal, live-in hut and, commune as a community and village kind of mentality. And they can see into what they call the unformed land. The unformed land being, like I said, the land of spirits. So they commune with the dead, basically, which is kind of cool. So they get a little bit more insight than most people would get in the natural world. So that... and then the wizards. The wizards are interesting because they come from... I don't want to mess up the name of the town, but I believe it's pronounced Zaishin or Zaishon. Very Asian sounding name. But basically the wizards are pretty simplistic. They are masters of the natural elements and arcane magic. They are essentially very scientifically study everything in the world that is arcanic and very scientific. Your character, male or female, actually saw a scroll that foresaw a prophecy that you were going to be the one to save it. And so you go out into the world to show your teachers, show your masters that you are ready to travel out into the world and that you don't need their guidance anymore. And I'm gonna take, Quinn here, Quinn being my... I'm gonna take Quinn here, who is my wizard, and I'm gonna show you, this is how crazy it is. From magic missiles to releasing bolts of electricity to the ground, a spectral blade to electrocuting enemies, to summoning a black hole, creating mere doppelganger images like illusions, summoning a little mystical orb or familiar to help you, boosting your magical weapons, shielding yourself in armor, summoning blizzard, summoning a meteor, the Hydra, which is, I'll show in a second, tornadoes, force fields, slowing down time, teleporting, a disintegration beam, torrent of arcane magic, throwing giant orbs, freeze ray. I'll show you. That's the Hydra. And that's the arcanic version of the Hydra, actually. So you can summon, like, all different kinds of, like, cool little knick-knack things. Now, let's see what we got here. Oh, do I got the black hole? Oh, I got the black hole right here. That's just... It's insane when you think about it. And this is the disintegration beam. Spectral blade. You summon, like, basically, like, oh... It's not even like swords, but it's just like ethereal cuts that you can unleash against your enemies. Yeah. Basically, the ability I'm using here on O, that's the black hole. You can summon a mini black hole to, like, pull enemies in. It's hilarious. And I'll show you with the Hydra here, because I got Arcane Hydra, you got Lightning Hydra, you got Blazing Hydra. This is scary. This is the Mammoth Hydra. This basically shoots like a line of lava across the ground. And it's just one giant dragon. Energy twisters. Summon a meteor. I'm sure some of y'all watching the stream later on are just like, why are you explaining all this stuff and doing this? Look, I'm having fun. It's a chill stream, not like an actual legit stream to like goof around on. Summon a blizzard. Well, no, the name of the attack is Hydra. You just summon a mythical Hydra. You're basically you're channeling elemental energy to form like a Hydra-like being that, you know, shoots attacks. That's all that really is. Can fracture time and space. You can do all kinds of things. So, I like the wizard. The wizard is actually, to me, one of the more interesting and cool kind of characters to play as, because, yeah, you got a lot of variety for stuff. Yeah, I'll show you with the witch doctor here. Actually, I'll switch to my other witch doctor. I'll switch to Prita here, my female witch doctor. Yeah, I'll show you the witch doctor. From poison darts to throwing like corpse spiders, like jars of spiders, to plagues of frogs, to throwing a flaming skull, to summoning a giant zombie and zombie fetishes. Basically, zombie fetishes are those little, like, I'm sure you've seen it, the little, like, you know, evil voodoo tiki dolls with the little knives. That's what those things are. Zombie dogs, haunting spirits, spirit walking, turning, and of course, Hex is funny because you summon a little fetish who mystically turns enemies into chickens. Don't ask why, it's just how that is. Causing mass confusion. Causing... here we go. Zombie chargers. Zombies that charge. You can summon acid rain. You can summon a pool of piranhas to attack your enemies. No, actually... Little zombie dogs. Giant gargantuan zombie. And of course this right here is the little, like, you know, fetish army. Oh, that's nothing. Yeah, a giant spirit. And I always laugh when I show this, but I'm going to show you the Bogodile. Let's see if it'll actually show up. Little piranhas. Yeah, am I on normal? No, I'm on expert. Let me switch back to... Okay, I'll just do hard. Hard's not bad. See, this is insane right here, because... I'm going to show you this.
Need more time.
It didn't show very well. Yeah, let me kill some of these guys. I always laugh at this because I always say, you know, it's like, let me show the Bogodile. You find a singular enemy. Yeah, I don't want to do this to my zombie dogs, but at the same time, I gotta get them out of the way here. There we go. I'll bring my zombie dogs and stuff back another time. Okay, there we go. Get Cormac out the way. Wait for all these fetishes to die. I'll go grab Cormac later. There we go.
The altar of sadness. I wonder what I should expect.
Always laugh at that. The first time I saw that, I was like, wait, you can summon a crocodile? But it's not a crocodile, it's the Bogodile. Wall of death, surrounded by death. No. Ah, here we go. It's not very well, but that's supposed to be like winter zombie bears. Ah, here we go. I love it. Okay, where was I? Oh crap, where did I have? Oh, mass confusion. There we go. Yeah, so as you can see, the Witch Doctor is pretty OP'd. Okay, so I've got Gargantuan. So now I'm trying to remember what all my skills were. Gargantuan, Spirit Barrage. Okay, yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. Mass Confusion. Rabid Dogs. Fetish Army. Okay. Rain of Toads. Oh, wait a minute. Where is it? There we go, Hex. Because, yeah, I have to show this just because it makes me laugh. You can turn enemies into chickens. I thought that was... Okay. And where is it? Toad Affinity. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's in Hex. Ah, here we go. You thought the Bogodile was crazy, Lewis? Check this out. Can summon a giant toad that can eat people. Okay, I've had enough of that. Let's... It's a lovely barrage of death.
The spirits aid me.
The way opens before me.
In case it wasn't obvious before, there's a reason the Witch Doctor is one of my favorite character classes in this game. I know, right? You can do so many, like... Yeah, like... Medusa spiders, Widowmakers... You can rain toads down from the sky, you can throw explosive skulls. Probably one of my least favorite spider-based abilities, but just because it's great. Summon a giant spider. She's actually got little mini spiders crawling out from underneath her. Call that the Spider Queen. Throw a jar that with the Spider Queen that births spiderlings, and you can only have one at a time. Me personally, I like the Widowmakers a little better. Yeah, you can throw jars of spiders. Of course, blow darts. Me personally, I just like the toads. You can do some crazy stuff. Okay, I may have to... Holy crap, 2 hours and 41 minutes. I didn't realize I was going that long. I did say that I was supposed to get off. Oh! And actually, it's a good time I noticed that because my mother just texted me saying that Comcast is giving a nationwide alert forewarning people that their internet and cable may actually go down. So... And of course, Comcast being the internet provider that I have. I know some people are going to say, oh, Xfinity and, this, whatever. Internet is internet. It doesn't matter what company you go with. But anyway, I know, right? I'm actually having fun for a change. Like, I've been so bogged down being stressed out about everything that's been going on lately that I've just not been able to really focus, so this is the first time in a long while that I actually am able to focus and actually play games and enjoy myself. What am I doing here? I mean, every character has their cool abilities. Actually, I'll show you with the Demon Hunter, because you talk about the Demon Hunter's cool. I'm going to show you some of her abilities. Because you've already seen me, like, use... Like, the Golem is cool. The Golem is massive, depending on, like, how you use it and in what way you use it. So you've seen some of the Necromancers. This... Oh, I know. The internet is the internet. Like, see, the Demon Hunter, it's all progressive abilities. Like, see, Hungering Arrow, bolas, evasive fire, grenades, explosive tipped arrows, Rain of Vengeance. Always like that. And what makes the Demon Hunters a little bit unique, actually, Lewis, is that they have a hatred meter and they have a discipline meter. Hatred is the orange, discipline is the dark blue or purple. And of course, all different kinds of abilities. Like, I'll show you. It's called Sentry, but you can set up a turret. Literally a turret. Rapid fire, which it's so much fun. And of course you can actually summon companions, which I have to laugh at. It starts off with a spider, then a bat, then a boar, then a ferret, which is weird, and then a wolf. And you can actually get, like, every companion deals, like, a different set of damage. So, like, I got a wolf companion right now. So the wolf charges up my attack speed and all that stuff, and believe it or not, your companions, like my wolf, for example, will help in combat. They will fight. Sentries, like I'll show you, Spike Trap, Fan of Knives, Marked for Death, Preparation, Vault, Vault, oh wait, that's next thing. Impale, which is basically a throwing knife attack. Kamarim, or basically one of those like spinning bladed weapons. An ethereal arrow, or elemental, I mean. Strife, multi-shot, cluster arrow, which is basically just a explosive arrow. And Rain of Vengeance. I'm going to show you Rain of Vengeance here and why. Now this is going to take a while to recharge. And that's just a more powerful version of Dark Cloud. And that was actually, those were shadow birds. Those were actually flaming shadow birds that were running across the ground there. Wait for this to charge back up again. Okay, there we go. That charged up faster than I thought. Okay, here's the one that I was telling you about. This one, to me, was cool. This is by far probably my favorite out of Reign of Vengeance. It's basically an airstrike maneuver. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying I sleep on the Demon Hunter, but it's just not necessarily the class that I'm most fond of. But I mean, they're cool in their own right. Like, they're definitely a cool ranged character, and also, you do get little pets. So I got a little... You do get pets in the game and stuff, so you do get, like, little spider there. Little unicorn here. Half-formed golem. Floating skull. This was for this was actually if you logged in during StarCraft's 20th anniversary, so you get like a little spaceship. Where's some other ones? Getting back to the Necromancer. Like, I'll show a couple more of the Necromancer's abilities. Let me... Because you got Devour, which devours nearby corpses. You got Revive, which is pretty self-explanatory. Corpse Lance, Corpse Explosion, Where is it? And just for giggles, I'll... What the... Okay, that was terrifying. I was not expecting him to just leap out of nowhere. Anyway... That legit spooked me. I'm like... That legitimately... Oh, okay. I had the default setting for the golem. Command him to a targeted spot where he collapses into a giant pile of useful corpses. And I can summon little mini, like, golems. That's hilarious. So you got to see a little bit of the revive ability. That's what the revive ability does. That's hilarious. I didn't realize that I was automatically summoning him. Next thing you know, he just flies across the screen and just smashes into the ground. I'm like, ugh. What the hell was that? I mean, it was hilarious, but that was too funny. I'm glad that was on stream. I'll have to make a clip of that later. So you got Flesh Golem, Ice Golem, Blood Golem, Decay Golem. The Decay Golem, basically whenever the golem this golem, whenever it's near corpses, it will consume them and increase its damage for everyone that it consumes. And the Gargantuan Zombie had one very similar. When it meets like elite enemies and stuff, it grows in size and has like a massive like upgrade to its attack speed. I like Bone Golem. Bone Golem has to be my favorite because it's giant ethereal bone golem here. And let me see if I can get you a clear view of what he does here. This goes into a tornado of bones. That was hilarious. I wasn't expecting him to leap. I'm like, why is he leaping? Why did he just smash into things? Why am I... Yeah, I love the Necromancer. Just because, not quite as many versatile abilities as the Witch Doctor, but still fun. Like, still fun to play as on a certain level. Okay. Switch that back to consume corpses. Devouring aura, there we go. And that'll make that automatic. And he just broke apart like a bunch of Legos. I'm not talking to you, Zoltan. Zoltan Cruel, probably the biggest a-hole in this game. Voiced by Steve Blum, sarcastic a-hole, and all-around arrogant d-bag. The longest living Haradrim basically found a way to make himself immortal. And the only way, Lewis, that they were able to... They basically couldn't kill him. The Haradrim found out they couldn't kill him. So what they had to do was they had to separate 4 or 5 different pieces of him. They basically had to essentially like almost mummify him. They had to... They basically severed his head from his body, and the whole entire time this is happening, he's insulting them. Well, what made it funny was it's like the stereotypical, like, you know, trash-talking severed head. Like the guy who separated, he goes, I'll find a way to get back to my body. And the guy's just like, shut up. And the guy even makes a note where he said eventually he had to stick a piece of cloth in his mouth to shut him up. So they hid his body in an alternate dimension. They hid his head underground, and they took vials of his blood and his heart and hid them in other different, you know, parts of Sanctuary. Like, they did not want this guy to ever come back, because this guy was essentially like to put it mildly, Zoltan Cruel is basically what would happen if... Oh, what's his name? What was Christopher Lee's character in Lord of the Rings name? Oh yeah, Saruman. It's like what would happen if Saruman was a sarcastic, cranky old man, but he had like the power level, not quite but near Sauron. You know, believe it or not, Zoltan Cruel is a very Lovecraftian kind of character. Like, and I love Steve Blum's voice. I love how he voices the guy. I'll even talk to him.
Yes, I live once more. I'm very hard to kill. And really, you did a sloppy job. But enough small talk. I need your help. An artifact lies in the ruins of Seshron. Guarded. I think you'll have a better chance of impressing this spirit than I. Aid me in this, and I'll use the artifact to help you.
The interesting thing about Zoltan Cruel is this guy was very much one of the bigger scribes of the Haradrim, so this guy has as much knowledge, if not more, than Deckard Cain. Which, in and of itself, is actually scary. Because this guy did a lot of dark experiments. This guy created what is called the Dark Soul Stone. Because the regular Soul Stones, which were part of the World Stone, contained the Demon Lords. The Dark Soul Stone was constructed by Zoltan to basically contain all 5 evils, all 5 of the most evil, prominent demon lords. And he was going to use that to inject their power into himself. Think about that for a second. In other words, he is absolutely insane. Thus, why the Haradrim went after him and decided to scour his body to pretty much 7 or 8 parts of the globe. Because no man that sane should ever be allowed to, for better or for worse, work on his own. I mean, this guy constructed a labyrinth, like an archival labyrinth of just many different experiments that he's done. Yeah, there's basically just the regular Soul Stone, which is basically just whatever trapped Diablo and the other Lords of Hell. The Dark Soul Stone that Zoltan Cruel created, it was meant to house their powers and essence, and he was going to transfer that into himself. This is a very scary man. Like I said. But as much fun, Lewis, as I am having with this, and as much fun as I'm sure you guys are either enjoying or pulling your ears off by now, wanting me to keep talking, or keep going into the lore of Diablo, guys, I gotta stop the stream right here, mainly because, A, we're hitting the 3-hour mark, which I did not expect I was going to be doing this for 3 hours, but also, it's almost 4 o'clock where I am in the globe, like 4 o'clock p.m., so I gotta wrap this up, get dinner started, go check the mail, and just genuinely do a little bit of housework that I had meant to do hours ago before I got stuck playing this. But I have no regrets. This has been fun. You know, this is the most fun I've had in a while, and this is the longest I've ever streamed, actually, to my knowledge, both YouTube and Twitch, so I have no regrets. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I hope you guys had fun. Maybe some other time when I'm streaming, Lewis, I will catch you or Clanders. But as always, guys, take care. Have a good one. I hope you all enjoy your day, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are in the globe. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.